Hey guys, thanks for another year of simply wonderful hashtag content. After all these years, there still isn't really anything else quite like Digital Foundry out there, and it's because of the weekly efforts and passions of this team that it continues to stand out. As it is the last direct of the year, perhaps it's time to reminisce. What was your favourite Digital Foundry related moment of the year? And yes, this is an opportunity to hand out compliments to your teammates. I've got a couple. I think from a content perspective, Alex isn't here, but he's kind of like really done a fantastic job of charting the true cutting edge of technology, of gaming technology. And, there's content like RT Overdrive and most recently the Avatar video, where I've just kind of sat back and watched that video in wonder and just sort of really appreciated how far we've come in terms of the visual arts. And Alex has kind of been our guide into introducing us to all of this and how it works and why it's special and why we should be excited, because there's so much negativity in the gaming media space a lot of the time, that just having this breathless enthusiasm that's also informative, that's also backed by the stuff that you're seeing in the video looking so phenomenal, it's just a pleasure to watch, basically. From a strategic and sort of release style highlight, Steam Deck OLED came out of nowhere, didn't know it was coming, and was excited when I got the product briefing from Valve. But,
Yeah.
the device arrives, you know what a good HDR game is, download it, run it. It didn't disappoint. So that was sort of like another highlight for me. Oliver, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, just in terms, I guess, of the things I enjoyed myself this year. I loved covering, like, I got to cover a lot more bigger titles this year, I think just because of scheduling and whatnot. So I got like Alan Wake 2, Metroid Prime Remastered, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, RoboCop, and Jedi Survivor. Those would be the highlights in terms of the games I covered. I also really enjoyed diving more into Steam Deck this year, and then towards the end of the year, diving into iPhone gaming, which I think is very interesting. And now we actually have iPhones that have appropriate hardware to do display output, and an Apple that is seemingly very interested in getting AAA games on the platform. So I think that's interesting, and some of the visual results there that you see in some games are quite phenomenal because the hardware is very capable for a mobile device.
I just wanted to pay tribute quickly to some of the stuff you've done, which has been off the beaten path, hasn't just been new game releases. And you come up with pitches which I find really interesting and think, yeah, I've got to see that. It's quite interesting that certain things have actually developed into series, like the too big for Steam Deck, for
Yeah, I love
example.
that.
Yeah, it's great work.
Yeah, and I'd have to double down and really say that Alex's work in exploring the boundaries of path tracing in titles like Cyberpunk with the RT Overdrive enabled, and that's really exciting because you really do see what the frontier of visual rendering looks like in real time, and as it's being explored in the PC space, and kind of a way that serves as a bit of a preview of other mainstream titles in the future, I have to imagine. And then I always love John's videos. He puts so much effort into them, and they're so long and so detailed. I mean, the
Yeah,
Forza
maybe too
versus
long.
GT video was quite a thing of beauty. Truly a magnificent video.
Spider-Man 2, another classic.
Yeah, I'm just always super blown away by just the breadth and focus and the amount of capture and the scripting and the way it all comes together. I'm just super impressed by that stuff. So those would be my highlights for the year for sure.
I think another invisible thing about your videos, John, is the background research that goes into a lot of them
Yeah, I
to,
do.
to make sure that they are accurate.
Yeah, I'm really a stickler for that sort of stuff. And I also like to put history into the videos, of course,
Hmm.
which I cannot help. Yeah, so from my side, I was thinking back. One of the ones I really liked, actually, some of my favorite moments, I really liked what Oliver did with the Final Fantasy 13 CGI versus 16 real-time graphics,
Yeah.
because that's the kind of stuff that like lives in my head a lot anyway. Just this like, have we matched these offline renders in modern games kind of thing? And I thought that was a really fun one to look at, actually, because I think we've gotten really darn close and superior in many ways, actually, especially when you compare Final Fantasy 16 there. Those cutscenes are insane. And so that was a really fun video. Yeah, I also really liked, I enjoyed Rich. This is a weird one, but I enjoyed Rich's meltdown. Like it went on for, it was like a slow motion car crash of like looking at that WRC game. Because it just felt like you just kept posting new data and doing new tests, and I could almost feel like the indent that must have formed on your desk from banging your head against it.
Well, this was just a small taste of the flip side of Alex's content this year, which is just exasperation on poor PC ports. Right?
Yes. And speaking of that, I had a lot of fun when we did that 3-way video together on The Last of Us Part 1 on PC.
Right.
And before it was fixed, and like that mid-spec experience that you were stuck with.
I had the high-spec one.
Wait, you had Alex was the one with the mid-spec then. Yes.
Yeah.
The mid-spec one was the funny one because woof. It was
I think what was quite interesting from that was that the high-spec experience, and it was like 13900K or 12900K plus a 4090. Yeah. It was, you could run it at acceptable performance levels. But then once the comparisons were actually factored in, it was like, well, hold on a minute, this isn't right.
Exactly.
What's going on with that texture there? There was profound problems across the whole thing there. Those videos are fun, and I really like. We haven't done enough of them this year. The retro time capsules. Hopefully, we can catch up on that next year.
Yeah, those are super fun. I love doing this multi.
I guess the Turok 3 video you're doing is quite similar to that.
That is similar to that because we had Alex and Corey in there, and so it was Switch versus PC versus N64. So it's in that spirit.
I also enjoyed just that approach of taking a new PC title. We also saw it with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and doing that kind of deep dive with the 3-way comparisons that you guys do.
Oh, right. We did that. I remember that.
Yeah, that was fun. And of course, the big running Ratchet on a PS4 hard drive disaster.
Oh, yeah. That was a great moment. Actually, the Ratchet behind the scenes on the Ratchet video, we actually got halfway through recording it, and then Rich's PC actually died. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think the motherboard or something just completely,
the board just
failed. It just like, it went off, and you're like, well, I can't get anything out of this. And then you spent like the next hour like cobbling something back together.
Yeah,
which
that
you
was
did.
Unfortunate. It's been a great year overall in terms of content, but
two more that
very challenging
that I really liked to work on, that I had fun working on though. One was The Last Hope on Switch, which was the T-Lu clone. I had so much fun making that video, especially the bullet math part. So that was an absolute joy to work on. The economy of bullets in that game. And then of course, the one I'm probably most proud of, I guess, would be the Road Rash video, which isn't out yet on public, just because leveraging other people as well. I worked with Corey on that, and I had Andrew Elmore helping me out on the soundtrack side, actually. So it's like the first DF Retro that has like original music in it, which I think gives it like an extra cool vibe. It's a little bit different than usual. And I put a lot of work into like making graphic design stuff and like animations and doing, all the background, like showcase stuff. And it was just a real technical video to make, but it was fun to do. So I'm really happy with how that turned out.
Awesome stuff. Well, we could go on all day.
Yeah.
It has been a year rich in hashtag content for sure. Also a year which has just been kind of bizarre in many ways because, you can't really acknowledge 2023 without sort of looking at the kind of two-faced nature of it, which is that the games that we saw by and large were just absolutely phenomenal. But at the same time, massive problems with layoffs, sort of contraction happening in the business. A lot of good people looking for jobs right now, which isn't great. Hopefully they'll sort of land gracefully going into 2024. And just generally on the media side, which we can sort of speak a bit more authoritatively about, there's a lot of concerns about AI and whatnot upsetting the status quo in terms of the economy and actually being able to pay people. So we sort of go into 2024 with hopes, but also sort of guarded. levels of expectation there. But, you know, you look back at the games that we enjoyed this year, it's certainly been a great year. And from our perspective, it's just opened the door to some fantastic videos, which have been a pleasure to share.